Hey everyone, it's Alexander, the real Mr. Robinson. Welcome to the channel and welcome to this not live stream of The Incredible Hulk. You might be wondering, wait a minute, didn't you already do The Incredible Hulk? I did. It didn't work out too well. 3 times. The first time was due to a power outage because power outage, I think that speaks for itself. The second time, the stream crashed on YouTube's end, and then Twitch just kept splitting it into 3 parts. So I tried again the following week, which was last Tuesday, and YouTube crashed. Twitch almost made it to the end, but then crashed 30 minutes before the film's climax. And I saved the footage. I re-recorded the end of the movie, not live, just so I could add it on, edit it in iMovie, and then export it to YouTube. Well, iMovie is not playing ball with me, so I tried several times to try to export the video. I don't know what to tell you. So what I'm doing right here, I am going to just watch the movie once again and give you my commentary, I guess, because we're doing the Avengers tomorrow, and I would be damned if I left out the Incredible Hulk. Even though it is considered to be the black sheep of the series, I want to just try to get this done over with. So I hate that I'm doing this just because I don't interact with you guys, but I know some people might be wondering where the Incredible Hulk watch party is. I know somebody, the original file that's on YouTube, but it's on private, somebody commented what happened before I set the video to private. So this is my weapon of last resort, I guess you could say. Watch the entire video again, do a pre-recorded commentary, and just upload the file from OBS straight to YouTube. So that's what I'm doing. And without further ado, I'm going to have the timestamp right here, just so you guys can follow along if you decide to, for those of you who want to watch this later on in the future, if you didn't partake in these live watch parties. This isn't live, so I don't have anybody to interact with in the chat. I don't have any questions to answer or just conversations to have with you guys. So it's just going to be me, myself, talking to myself while I watch The Incredible Hulk. And yeah, with all that said and done, I'm going to go ahead and play the movie right now. Nope, let's start that. Let's try that again. Thank God this is not, not live, because I was screwed up big time right there. Anyway, start right now. So don't say I don't do anything for you guys. I'm doing this because I love y'all. And of course, I always have to say this whenever the Universal logo pops up. The nicest weather the Earth has ever had. See, I really wish I could be doing this live with you guys, but whatever. I don't mind watching this movie again, just a week after I watched it prior. Yeah, this opening is very much closer to the origin of the Hulk than the Ang Lee movie was. That, and it combines elements of the TV show opening. Or at least the way the TV show from the 70s depicts the origin of the Hulk. Except, as somebody pointed out several times during the first 2 attempts at this live watch party, there's no Rick Jones for Bruce Banner to try to save. Yeah, Sarah Haley Finn isn't responsible for the casting this time around, like the other MCU movies. But I still like Ed Norton as Bruce Banner. Like, Mark Ruffalo is still great, and I'm glad we have Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, but Ed Norton always looked like he always looked like Bruce Banner whenever I imagine the character. Though I can kind of see why this movie didn't do that well when it first came out, because leading up to it, people didn't know that Marvel was working up towards an Avengers film with Iron Man, the Hulk, and whichever other characters they had. There's the Stark Industries logo. I think Nick Fury's name pops up somewhere. But there it is, Nick Fury. And this was back in the Avi Arad days, before Kevin Feige completely took over the MCU and its future. But yeah, I felt like there was really a uphill battle with this movie on whether or not it was going to be a hit, because the Ang Lee Hulk was just, to put it nicely, it was weird. I remember seeing it in theaters when it came out in 2003, and I didn't really like it. And I should have, because back when I didn't really care about comic books or comic book characters, Spider-Man and the Hulk were the two comic book heroes that I really paid attention to. And then another reason why, the second reason why I feel like this movie didn't do all that well is because since nobody knew that Marvel was making an Avengers film, unless you were actually paying attention and you researched all this stuff beforehand, the general public, I think, just thought of this as a sequel to the Ang Lee Hulk, because the Ang Lee Hulk ends with him in South America, which is where Bruce Banner is right now. So I can imagine why people would think, wait, is this a sequel? But those opening credits tell you right away like that, no, this is a reboot. And there's Bill Bixby. Because you notice they stay on him longer than the other channels. For those who don't know, Bill Bixby played David Banner, not Bruce Banner, in the Hulk TV show. You know, if I were Bruce Banner, I think the phrase that I would have instantly known off the top of my head in any language is, "Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry." Just slap you in their face. Yeah, control yourself, man. Yeah, this is one real big advantage of pre-recording this watch party, because I don't have anybody to interact with. But whatever, I'm doing this for you guys. I'm going to try to make this as entertaining as possible if you're not focusing on the movie. Yeah, the reason I'm moving in, like, every now and then is to I'm closing applications that I don't need open, just so this recording can stay on as long as possible. And there's that CGI blood in slow motion falling through into a bottle. Yeah, I try to find. I'd be wearing gloves this whole time. If I was afraid of my blood getting traced, my gamma radiated blood, I would probably be wearing gloves, especially in a place where I know I'm probably gonna get cut. Too bad Banner didn't see that. So what would have happened if that bottle didn't make it to the U.S.? If it had gone to another country, say Japan or Germany? Although I'm pretty sure, I would imagine that drinks like those don't make their way that far out. So, okay, yeah, maybe that's just me being a nitpicky asshole. Yeah. That's why I would instantly know that phrase in every other language, so I don't run into problems like that. One thing I've always liked about Bruce Banner, even before seeing any of the movies, is that, like, he may seem like a skinny weakling, or like I would imagine at first glance you'd think that he'd be like an adult version of Peter Parker, but not really. I mean, they're both like scientific geniuses, sure, but like Peter Parker in the high school days, I feel like is uh, more nerdy and gets definitely gets picked on by people like Flash Thompson. But Bruce Banner is a lot more respected, and I think that might have to do with the fact that Banner is an adult. So let's see. I think if I'm correct, I know I've seen this movie just last week during the original uh, poorly attempted watch party, which uh, which if you want guys out there want proof that the original watch party does exist, um, if you're watching this a week before next Tuesday, if you're watching this anytime between now and February 9th, then you could see, that didn't work. I love that fake out though. Like, hey, it worked. And the blood cells are like, nope. But if you want proof that the original watch party did exist, between now and February 9th, you could go check on twitch.tv/real Mr. Robinson, and it is there. And yeah, it's definitely not my proudest moment in terms of streaming. But as I was saying with the Mr. Blue in question. Samuel Stearns, yeah. I'll be curious to see if they bring him back, because they're bringing Tim Roth back in She-Hulk. They brought William Hurt back as a Ross in Civil War and Infinity War, and a very, very brief cameo in Endgame. So we'll see what happens. I'll be curious to see if they decide to bring back Liv Tyler, considering that I don't think she's the best actress in the world. Definitely the weakest link in this movie. So, theoretically, Banner just accidentally killed Stan Lee, just by pure accident. That, or since Stan Lee's confirmed to be a Watcher informant in this universe, he just got a real kick out of it. Like, it was sort of a drug to him. And there's Sergeant Bronsky from Jason X. Because Tim Roth won't do the Russian accent. Yeah, considering this movie's a lot more serious than all the other MCU movies that would come out much later in the timeline, I'll be curious to see how they work in Tim Roth into She-Hulk, because I think She-Hulk is supposed to be a 30-minute long comedy, and there's nothing really comedic about Tim Roth's performance in this movie. Good news, everyone. General Ross smoking a cigar. I mean, he smoked it. He was smoking a cigar when we saw him at the Pentagon, but I always thought it was a weird. I always thought it was such a cliche, like the military personnel with the cigar. Thank you, James Cameron. You know, maybe this is just me, but I don't think those explosives were entirely necessary. If these are a bunch of trained army personnel, like, you wouldn't. You'd be strong enough to probably kick that door down. Also, you don't shoot the dog. I know it's a trank, but uh, in both those instances, you don't shoot the dog. Yeah, this piece of music right here, this little bit of the score, I think is pretty great. Chase that white man in the orange hoodie. Yeah, William Hurt. He's slightly better in his future MCU appearances, but right here he's not terrible, but he's definitely not putting his everything into it. No, don't need the hat. Oh, and legs broken. Miss. That dog's safe from Blonsky. Oh, shit. Yeah, really, you have to wonder what this series would have been like going forward if Ed Norton was still Bruce Banner. Because he could definitely, as an actor, he can definitely hold his own against Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, and others. And also think Ed Norton has what it takes to be funny, because we've seen uh, his role in some of the. I mean, Birdman was a very comedic movie, and we've seen him in the Wes Anderson movies where he's definitely has some comedic chops. But I guess really at the end of the day, it was just that he was hard to work with. And it's ironic because if I'm correct, I'm pretty sure Mark Ruffalo was actually the first pick for this role, not Ed Norton. So if that's true, I'm about to look that up. So that's true, then that's ironic that Ed Norton ended up being recast with Mark Ruffalo, but that was their original choice for this movie. Uh, I'm just looking that up right now. Yeah, yeah. The director actually had Mark Ruffalo as his first pick for Bruce Banner before Ed Norton. Yeah, very bad because we're gonna kick your ass. You know, what would be a cool. I don't know if the comics have ever done this, but what would be a cool what if is if they actually took the idea that Bruce Banner's father was exposed to gamma radiation and that carried over into Bruce Banner, like I believe what the Ang Lee Hulk did. It would be a cool what if scenario if they had and you're dead. If they had like a child Bruce Banner in elementary school who'd get picked on constantly, and you just have a little child Hulk causing problems. Like that would be a funny. I feel like that would be a funny thing to make. Yeah, this whole sequence I think is out of all the non Avengers Hulk sequences in the MCU, basically all the sequences where the Hulk's not fighting any Avengers or interacting with any Avengers, this might be the best one. Because I really love how they depict the Hulk as a monster in the shadows. Like, really, it even though we know what the Hulk looks like, even though they showed the Hulk in all the trailers, the way they show him off is very much like the Jaws scenario, where you only get tiny glimpses of him before the big reveal. Or, I guess maybe a more appropriate comparison would be Aliens. Because with the xenomorphs and aliens, you see them very briefly. Like they're you don't really get a extremely good look at them. And that dude's dead, and so is he. Oh no, no, that was the same dude. Okay. Yeah, for the longest time, I always thought the Hulk just kicked that tank so hard that it flew that long a distance. But no, you can see the Hulk pushing it. And there he is. The one disadvantage of this movie in terms of the Hulk's, in terms of portraying the Hulk, and really it was just due to the way these kinds of movies were made back then, is that uh, when you look at the Hulk, you don't get the impression that Ed Norton's Bruce Banner is in there. You don't see how they could be the same body. But thank God technology has come along further because whenever you see Mark Ruffalo play the Hulk, uh, you can see the Hulk inside. You can see Bruce Banner inside the Hulk. You can see hints of Mark Ruffalo. And it also helps that Mark Ruffalo is the only actor to play both Bruce Banner and the Hulk. Yeah, again with Tim Roth, it's going to be really interesting to see how he interacts with the current state of the MCU in a more comedic fashion. That mustache. You know, out of context, this could be a scene straight out of like some screwball comedy. Like maybe screwball comedy is not the right word to use. I mean, like basically this could be something in the vein of The Hangover where if you didn't know this was a Hulk movie, then Ed Norton is just playing some guy who had the greatest bachelor party of all time. So great, in fact, that he just wound up in another country in Guatemala. Yeah, because he just went from two different countries. He ended up in Brazil, got drunk one night, and then ended up in a Guatemalan rainforest. There's that sad Incredible Hulk theme. Do 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 do. Just I've never seen the TV show, but I wonder how good it could actually be. Because I've seen clips, mainly the Hulk related clips, and just see Lou Ferrigno painted green throwing fake bears. Sorry, throwing fake bears over a lake is is ridiculous. So yeah, this movie came out in 2008, and Winter Soldier Winter Soldier. First Avenger didn't come out until 2011, so they really were planning ahead of time, dropping all these little hints of what's to come in the future. Yeah, this is not going to bite him in the ass, will it? So yeah, when I did this stream last time, YouTube crashed right about here. Uh, no, wait, it was right about here where it crashed, but the Twitch stream just kept on going. And I actually had to pause the movie and pause the timestamp that you're seeing right there. But that ended up screwing up something because I couldn't just resume the counter from where it was. It just ended up restarting. Yeah, this is where the last live stream just crapped out for this movie. At least on YouTube. It's kept going on Twitch, but unless you caught this watch party, pre-recorded watch party before February 9th, then you will never see that watch party, that original version ever again. Shit, she sees me. No. No, it's just Phil from Modern Family. Which debuted 1 year after this movie came out. Oh, somebody's up. Yes, come here, you. So I went from a worker at a bottling plant in Brazil to a pizza delivery guy in Virginia. And there's Lou Ferrigno. So Lou Ferrigno can be bribed with pizzas. I wonder if people could use that tactic on him if they take photos without his permission. Because, yeah, Lou Ferrigno's just very... If y'all don't know, Lou Ferrigno's just very stingy when it comes to people taking pictures of him. Like he'll threaten people if they take pictures of him without his permission. It was a smart idea to just do the opening in the credits because it really, like, the people know the Hulk's origin in and out. There's one of Peter Parker's future professors or future teachers at his high school. Because yeah, Hulk really is. I mean, by this point, I feel like a lot of people know the origins to most Marvel characters now. Considering that the MCU is so huge and such a hit. But back then, before these movies were coming out of the woodworks, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, the Hulk were the heroes whose origins you knew instantly. And you didn't need the movies to explain the origins of them. Kids, they're grown-ass adults. Shit! She saw me. Yeah, I really do wish Liv Tyler was better in this movie, or just a better actress in general, because the this chemistry between Bruce Banner and Betty Ross could have been infinitely better than it is in this movie. Yeah. Especially considering that Betty Ross is pretty much the Mary Jane Watson to Peter Parker, or Pepper Potts to Tony Stark. Yeah, I would have thought this was the moment where they play the sad Hulk theme. But I guess you only got to play it once. You can't milk that. So yeah, right now I'm no longer, like, I keep looking over. It's not because I'm checking the chat, because there's no chat for me to interact with. I'm more checking my computer's battery. And we're about halfway through the movie. Um, no, we're not halfway through the movie quite yet. Yeah, no, we're not halfway through the movie yet, but we're an hour and 10 minutes before. We're 45 minutes into the movie right now, or I guess I could have looked at the timestamp right there. 43 minutes and 12 seconds. And my computer battery's doing good. Yeah, that should have been a really touching moment, but I mean, Liv Tyler just doesn't really sell it. And the problem is because Liv Tyler in this movie, like, she's so soft spoken, and sometimes she talks to people like she's talking to a child. Speaking of, it is ironic that Ross is pretty much responsible for creating the film's main villain, the Abomination, and yet 8 years later he becomes the Secretary of State. Like, really, it's like you really want to trust uh, this guy for implementing the Accords onto the Avengers. We've got some time before we get to Civil War, but yeah, we got a bit of time before we get to Captain America: Civil War, and like it kind of Ross being responsible for this, and then being the guy who who's basically the one that implements the Sokovia Accords onto the Avengers, is really part of the reason why I'm on Team Cap. But again, we'll get to that when we get to Civil War. Oh yeah, yeah. This is. Ugh. I hate needles. But I think that this one is more. Ugh. Like, yeah. Yeah, not a big fan of those long needles. Oh yeah, in the first attempted stream, this is where everything just cut off completely. But it's quiet. Too quiet. There's a thunderstorm coming. You know, it's a shame Bruce Banner didn't invent the typical comic book hero camouflage or hideout disguise like we'd see in the Russo's films with sunglasses, a baseball cap, and a hoodie. Okay, so nobody realized that Betty Ross was following them. No military personnel was like, "Hey, we've got a civilian following us. Please advise." I never noticed the noises when the soldiers were passing the bookshelves. I wonder where my father is. Now you have to wonder how much of General Ross's disdain for Banner, how much of it do you think comes from the fact that he's actually like considered a danger, and how much of it comes from the fact that he just disapproves of him as his daughter's boyfriend? I imagine the disapproving father aspect might have to be higher than the he's a threat to the country aspect. Get her back here. Yeah, I'm sorry. There's no way a random civilian um, could just elbow that soldier successfully to the point where he's knocked out. I love it. The Hulk just needs to stomp onto the ground, and the debris comes flying towards the soldiers. Doesn't need to kick it; he just stomps down. I do like the use of organs back there when it was that big reveal of, "Hey, the Hulk's here." There really are some points in this movie where William Hurt is hilarious, but not in the way you would think a Marvel movie would be hilarious. Okay, yeah, those two dudes that fell out of the Humvee are dead. And yeah, all those people are dead. Dead. And somewhere in all this madness, Natasha Romanoff is in disguise as a college student. Yeah, those are some close calls considering that the Hulk pretty much has swords. Like, those things could chop someone in half. Yeah, some of the CGI definitely has not held up. Like, there's some shots where the Hulk looks really good, but then there's some other moments. Like here when the Hulk is caught in the sound gun, I guess. Where like, his skin's like wobbling. And it just doesn't look all that good. But it doesn't look as bad as some of some of the moments in the final battle. There's an AH-64 Apache. Not sure if those things would be called gunships. I mean, I've never heard Apaches be called gunships beyond this movie. Yeah, the Hulk just casually holds that up as Blonsky's shooting. Dead. Yeah, he is mangled. Sure, random explosion. Incoming. Yeah, maybe talk into the radio if you want the Apache to stop firing. Don't drunkenly shout at it. And suddenly it starts raining on this, just suddenly on this very bright sunny day. Because we need a dramatic shot. Yeah, that shot of the Hulk looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm not buying that. Yeah, it's definitely the. I'm starting to be more convinced that it's definitely the disapproving father side that's more eager to catch the Hulk than the military general side. This part's very reminiscent of King Kong. Like, Beauty has the beast on a mountainside in a cave. Or, no, I'm sorry. Beast has the beauty in a mountainside, on a mountainside in a cave. Yeah, like he just gets so pissed off at the lightning. Yeah, this is a great moment. Like, it's very small and brief, but basically, the Hulk's trying to protect Betty Ross from the lightning. Sit down. Yes, sit down. Lie down. Yeah, again, I just don't see Ed Norton inside this Hulk. I remember when this movie came out. This was before Thor and Captain America were released. People were just assuming that uh, people just assumed that the lightning was from Thor. And like, that's a bit of a stretch to think that, oh, there's lightning. That's gotta mean that Thor's nearby somewhere. But whatever. Luckily, that was not proven to be the case, since Thor theoretically that Hulk and Betty are still in Virginia, and Thor is all the way in New Mexico, and the only sequences with Thor happening, the only sequences where Thor's being Thor take place at the day in daytime. It clearly like in the early afternoon at latest. Yeah, this part very much. I didn't mention this in the first two attempts at this watch party. One, because the first attempt we never made it this far. And two, I just never really thought of it because I had you guys to interact with. But this moment right here with Betty and Ross at the motel kind of reminds me of the first Terminator. I'm surprised he didn't slip. and at the very least, it didn't come out of the more gross end. Huh. I'll take my chances with jorts. So yeah, you want people who debate on what, if you're watching this series in chronological order, what comes first, the Incredible Hulk or Iron Man 2? I'd argue the Incredible Hulk because this is like at the end of the second act. This yeah, this news story is played at the end of the second act of this movie, whereas it's played at the end of Iron Man 2. So I would think it's just better to and plus Natasha Romanoff after she's basically takes care of the whole Emil Blonsky thing. No, not Emil Blonsky. The other Russian dude. A lot of Russian people in Russian characters in the MCU or Marvel in general. What's his name? Ivan Vanko. Right after she deals with Ivan Vanko and Justin Hammer, she's reassigned to pretty much spy on Bruce Banner. Because, like I said, she was undercover as a. If you read the soft canon comic Nick Fury's Big Week, she's undercover as a college student at that very university. It's like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. I can't. I can't do it. Yeah, was that something that the comics ever addressed? Or, like, because I didn't think that could happen, where he could turn into the Hulk after getting excited. Yeah, you might want to put him on a leash or a tighter one. Yeah, there's the slip up. Yeah, that's a that's over. Yeah, for the leader, I wonder, are they gonna bring him back in a Disney Plus series or She-Hulk? No, She-Hulk is a Disney Plus series. I'm sorry. Are they gonna bring him back in a movie or are they gonna bring him back at some point in She-Hulk? She-Hulk seems like the most likely candidate, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, battery's still good. It's at my battery right now is at 75%, and we are 1 hour and 11 minutes into this movie, and 29 seconds. Hmm. Two people getting out of an old rusty truck to flee from authority. Yeah, that's not suspicious at all. And now we come to the essentially the big Marvel hub. Now I say that Liv Tyler's not good in this movie, and I'll stand by that. But this moment coming up, where she flips out on the cab driver, I think she is good. Again, it's a very brief moment. Yeah, yeah, real asshole right there. Yeah, I wonder why he calls him Mr. Blue. Yeah, Tim Blake Nelson feels like he could fit perfectly uh, into the rest of the MCU if they decide to reintroduce Samuel Stern and the leader. Yeah, he's not all that well. Oh God, he looks pale. Like that's got to be some CGI makeup because his body physique is not. Ugh. His body physique there is not the same as it was before. Okay, look, if you're gonna lie down, just stay in one position. Lie down, huh? Foreshadowing. Or just go somewhere else. Oh, the timestamp glitched out for a second. But it's still the same, so we're good. No need to worry. Yeah, are we sure we want to trust this man? Now we just need to piss him off, huh? Ugh. Yeah, that'll make him pop. And yeah, in case you're wondering why they never bothered to show Bruce Banner actually transform into the Hulk, you're about to see why. Because, ooh, yikes, that is some awful CGI. Yeah, again, that doesn't even look like Ed Norton. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that was weird. You okay? Sorry about that. My cat's lower jaw got caught on her collar. You okay? You okay? Okay, that was really weird. You know what? I'm gonna take this off really briefly. Come here. Come here. Yeah, that is some shoddy CGI. Yeah, we're just gonna let you be free for a bit. Sorry for the weird close-ups. I just have to grab some water. So yeah, back there when Betty Ross jumped on the Hulk to try to calm him down. Um, that's where the Twitch end just cut off completely. So now you'll be able to see all the stuff that see me talk about the stuff that we actually never got to in the previous streams. I've said too. I've said too much. So it's like he's so like sporadic that rather than being like, "Oops, I said too much," he's like, "Yeah, test subjects, come with me. I know you're concerned, but just wait." Wow. Yeah, that making humans impervious to disease statement could have really come in handy, especially last year and still this year. If you're watching this from the future, just look up the 2020 pandemic. Yeah, William Hurt looks like he's just he looks slightly drunk in that shot when he's like squinting. Yeah, what do you think about that statement now? Jeez. Jeez. Father of the Year. World's greatest dad right there. Yeah, he just apparated out of nowhere. That's a good question. Yeah, if Emil Blonsky is coming back in She-Hulk, um, it only makes sense that his creator, like that turns him into the Abomination, would come back to the MCU at some point. Maybe not She-Hulk, but definitely at some point they'd have to bring in the leader. That's that is a silly shot right there. You are a weird cat. Huh? Yeah, this is gonna work out perfectly. Nothing could go wrong. Yeah, now that they're done with the Infinity Saga, now that Thanos is out of the equation as the main threat, uh, they can now focus on the stuff that they left behind in the original era of the MCU, like the leader. You know, one reason I'm excited to see the Abomination again might not be because he's that great of a character, but probably because with how technology has evolved since this movie, especially with the Hulk alone, um, the Abomination's got to look better than he does here. Oh, all this collateral damage. You can't have a city destruction scene without collateral damage. Yeah, those people. There was that woman totally got swiped by a car. Because as soon as the car passed by, she was gone. Yeah, and now Ross is the biggest hypocrite on the planet. And still, he gets hired as a Secretary of State. That soldier just say booyah. More like, yeah, boo. Get out of there, soldier. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care what the cost of court-martialing is or what any of the consequences are. Huh? If I'm in a if I'm in a military vehicle like that with a front wheel that's damaged, I'm not I'm not gonna stay in there. I'm getting out. That cab driver's dead. Yeah, that cab driver's dead, and so are all those soldiers. You know, it's funny. Later in 2008, when I played Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, and they did this moment right before Starkiller drops into the Death Star, I was like, wait a minute. They did that in The Incredible Hulk. Yeah, I like how they just took that moment in Thor Ragnarok. It just made it even more comedic. Now we get to the climax with that giant fist coming out of the ground. And now we get a finale that is more awesome and less ridiculous than the one in The Incredible Hulk, where... No, this is The Incredible Hulk. Than in the Hulk from Ang Lee. Because I don't know what the hell was up with that finale in Ang Lee's Hulk. But at least here we got two giant green rage monsters fighting each other. Even if the CG's very shoddy in some parts. I gotta admit, when I saw this in the theater for the first time, I kind of lost my shit when the Hulk snapped a cop car in half and then decided to use them as boxing gloves. Yeah, because this part I was like, oh shit, Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Yeah, I love that moment. They need to make another Hulk video game. Like, because if Insomniac made two great Spider-Man games, I'm assuming Spider-Man Miles Morales is great, then I think you need to make another Hulk game. But sir, they're both green. The one that's wearing pants then. How about that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If I'm correct, the Abomination in the comics, he looked more like uh, the creature from the Black Lagoon on steroids. Ugh. That shot there, I always imagined that the Hulk was just gonna take a piece out of the Abomination's backside. And anytime now. Crash. That crash took a lot longer than I thought it would. So yeah, this stream is going on swimmingly. Battery on my computer's good. And yeah, so happy this worked out. So this is actually going to be, if any of the other watch parties in the future encounter this problem, this is what I'm just going to do. Like, sorry if it robs the ability for you guys to interact with me or me to interact with you guys. But if I just want to get this watch party out, then, okay, you know what? Then this is the method that I'm going to have to use. And the disadvantage of having to do this is that I really got to go to the bathroom. So just, yeah, just continue watching this. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. But since I did like the previous shots with the Hulk and Abomination just wrestling up against that wall, really is a testament to how bad the CGI can be in this movie. And I kind of lost my shit at this moment as well. The only other time we'd ever hear the Hulk smash line is when is in the Avengers when when Steve Rogers tells the Hulk to smash. So this moment here when Hulk and Abomination are wrestling, this is the biggest problem with the CGI, is that they move too quickly. Like right here, there's just nothing about the movements of either Hulk or Abomination that are fluid. They don't feel natural. Like, it's just kind of ugly. Yeah, that sound right there, that little sound right before the Hulk roars. Up until the consultant one shot, I'd always thought that Blonsky was dead. Like, that was the end of the Abomination. But no, he's ignoring the fact that they show that he's slightly breathing. So yeah, next time we see that character will be in She-Hulk, which I think is coming out next year. Let me look that up. She-Hulk. Betty. She-Hulk is set to premiere in 2022 and will consist of 10 episodes. Okay. So yeah, next year is when we get to see She-Hulk. Come here. Or not. Wait, there's a hilarious shot coming. Yeah, right there where the Hulk's just kind of posing in the air. Almost like doing this. It's kind of a hilarious way to have our last shot of the Hulk in this movie. So wait, you had that camera on the whole time? You didn't turn it off, Betty? Is it Betty or Betsy? Yeah. Now I'm confused. Betty. Okay, so I'm not crazy, yeah? Because I could have sworn I heard the Hulk say Betsy. And there he's using the David Banner pseudonym. Or they're using it. No, he's using it too. A whole month without being the Hulk. Gone. And much like with Terrence Howard, there won't be a next time. So, I've said this a couple times, but when I saw Iron Man in theaters, I didn't stay to the credits. So I was unaware of what Marvel was building up until this scene here. Hi, Tony Stark. Yeah, that one shot they came up with to kind of explain this moment, pretty cool. And there we go. I still like this movie a lot, but I don't need to watch this for a long time. At least until next year when She-Hulk comes out. So yeah, for those of you wondering where the Incredible Hulk watch party was, it is now in the form of a pre-recorded watch party. So I don't want anyone commenting on how, like, why wasn't this live or not, because I had my reasons. So yeah, thank you all. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching this just as it's being uploaded and you made it to this point, make sure you tune in Tuesday for my watch party of Marvel's The Avengers. And if you're watching this at any point in the future, hope you tune into those other watch parties or check them out in post. If you really like what I'm doing on this channel and you want to help support financially, go over to patreon.com/realmrrobinson and you'll get some cool bonus content based off the amount that you pledge. If you cannot support the channel financially, that's totally fine. Subscribing to me on YouTube and following me on Twitch, twitch.tv/realmrrobinson is good enough. So once again, thank you all for this, and I do sincerely apologize for all the screw-ups I've had to endure with this particular movie. But it's done. Moving on. Until next time, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves.